I bought a 50% pullback of this move up. Um, we have two legs down here, two climaxes down, and we got a bull signal bar. I was feeling a little bit iffy about buying here. It was pretty close to the sell climax high, and it's not as clean as I would normally like for consecutive climaxes, so I don't want to buy above the signal bar. I decided to only buy a 50% pullback, use a relatively wide stop, measured move down from the signal bar. To potentially add. It's a pretty small trade, 5 shares only, because I'm actually not very confident about it. I was hesitating for a few minutes about what to do, if I should buy above, if I should buy 50% pullback, if I should let it go. I was pretty undecided, but I just think we had a lot of reversals today, a lot of bull bars, so a lot of buying pressure on the open. This bounce, this wasn't as strong, but then this bounce was strong, and we this is a reasonable area to buy below, right here. And typically when you have a really strong climax to support and then a really strong reversal up, and there's a buy below somewhere here, like a strong reversal and a buy below, and it doesn't ever materialize into anything, instead we sell off to the downside, it usually tries to get back up there. I think, like Al talks about that as a general rule, that if you do a reasonable thing, you should be able to get out without a loss. But because I've been burned on these so many times, when we get a sharp move down, bounce off support, and then we get 4 bull bars or 5 bull bars, I used to buy below these and just place a limit order to buy and put a stop down here. And I got burned a lot, where we'd come down and get just about to a measured move down from the reversal here. So from this high to this low, the measured move down would be down here somewhere. It would get just about there and then reverse back up to that low. I just closed that, accelerated that pretty quickly. So I made just $3 on it because it was small size. But sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so I used to buy below here and stop out below here. And then only to see it reverse back up and get to that low. And then what I started doing is I used to buy that low. Sorry, I used to let that go and then buy this low down here. Instead of stopping out, I would buy here without seeing a signal bar or anything. And that worked for a scalp sometimes, but I didn't like buying without some kind of confirmation. So I stopped doing that. And now I'm trying to start waiting for something to set up, knowing that these are both good targets, this low and this low, that they're both reasonable targets. So that's what I tried to do today, and ended up scalping out for 30 cents, I think, about 30 cents. No, about 60 cents, sorry. Because I bought at 346.06 and scalped out at 346.64, so 58 cents. I just bought above this bar, bull bar closing near its high. My read on this right now is I'm still thinking that this price is important. I don't think we'll get all the way up here, but I think that it's important enough that we should get to the midpoint of these two entries. So 347.87 and 345. I think we should get to somewhere in the midpoint of those two entries, because oftentimes if this is a good buy below, or it's an untested sell signal, and you get a bull bar closing near its high in good context, then often we get to the midpoint. So here the context that I'm seeing is that we have a triangle late in the bear trend and a breakout of a triangle, so probable final flag of this bear trend. And if it is a final flag, then I think we should get either to the top of the final flag up here, or at least to the apex of the triangle. So I think at a minimum we should get up here to about 346, and I have the midpoint at about 346.50. yeah, around 346.45 is the midpoint of this entry, buying below this bar and buying above the bar that I bought above. So I think we should get up to the 346 area, and that's probably where I'll take profits. I have my stop down here because it's an equal distance away from the midpoint. So I'm betting that we're more likely to get to the midpoint before going down an equal distance. So that's why my stop is down here. But if we set up something nicely here, I might add more and then put my stop below here. So it depends how the next couple bars look and what we do here. So it looks like I'm probably gonna get stopped out here. During this trading range, as we're going sideways, I was thinking it's probably much more reliable to do this in a trading range day and not a big bear trend day. And today is a pretty strong bear trend. I mean, if I was just trading this tight trading, just the final flag, I would have waited for a second entry buy. So I would have assumed that this is a minor reversal and waited for a second reversal up. But because I was so fixated on this price, I just ignored the fact that it might be minor. And I think that probably matters less on in a trading range day, which today isn't. And yeah, I'm just feeling like this is one of those trades where once it doesn't work out, you just wonder why you took it in the first place. It's such a like, I don't want to say it's a dumb thing to do, because I think it's okay in theory, depending on the context and the type of day. But just like, it's just dumb. It's not something that's based on a real setup that I'm comfortable with. It's like purely mathematical, and this didn't set up the way I would normally want it to trade a final flag. I was just so fixated on this price. I think that was a mistake. And I mean, I've been doing it less, taking trades that I look back after and say that was just really, really dumb. I think this is one of those really, really dumb things. I'll probably lose probably be down 10 bucks once I get stopped out. All right, around 7 bucks. So I guess I was down 10 on the trade, but I made 3 bucks on this one, so down 7. I bought above this bull signal bar. Huge climax here, pullback, and a second climax down. So 2 consecutive climaxes late in a bear trend and a bull signal. It's not a really strong bull signal bar. Typically, after consecutive climaxes, I want like a strong reversal up. But it is still a second entry buy and 2 climaxes. So I think it's a reasonable buy for a test up to the high of the sell climax, but not ideal. Looking to take off half at 50 cents and the other half near the high of the sell climax. If this went down here and then reversed up, I probably would just put my target at the high of the sell climax. But because I'm feeling uncertain about it, I'm going to scalp out half at 50 cents if we get there. I'm trying to weigh, like, I feel like I'm probably a little bit on tilt from the loss, but I also think I can recognize that I am a little bit upset about the loss and not my best mentally, but I also think that had I not taken any trades today, I'd probably take this one and risk $10. So I think it's a fair trade, and it's one I would take no matter what. So I'm okay with this. If I lose this trade, I'm okay with it. And I'm not scalping out 50 cents because I want to make back the loss. I'm scalping out 50 cents because it's not a perfect setup. So whatever happens on this trade, I'm okay with it. Got filled there, 5 shares at 50 cents. And now the other half I'll look to take off at the high of the sell climax if we get there. I don't love the tail there on the close. Yeah, I think I should have exited on the close of that bar. Just got out there on my last 5 shares. I stopped out break even. I gotta say, I don't think that was purely objective to get out break even there. I mean, I didn't like the close of the entry bar, and I already identified it as a weak setup for me. So that was already in my mind that it wasn't a perfect setup. And so I didn't feel as confident to wait for the normal targets. But at that point, once we got the tail here and it started to reverse down to my entry, I just decided to exit break even. I was hoping that this bar would accelerate up and close on its high, and then I probably wouldn't have exited break even. But because we had the tail and then we dropped towards my entry, I just made the call on the spot to exit there. So, yeah. So down 450, probably done for the day. Could have been a pretty decent day, 250 here and 290 here, so it would have been another $6 day or $5 day if I hadn't done this thing here.